But anyways, it's a perfect day, a nice morning of another Sunday. We are still here,
We
right?
have Sunday without sun today in
Yeah.
London.
It's a sunless day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's time, I suppose.
Mhm.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's
Hey.
technology is
Hello.
back. Yeah. Today it's quite a lot of people. Yeah. But the main actors here are two Andrews.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So we are today in amazing day. Joined this amazing stream. Can't sleep all the night just to join you guys and speak about Kubernetes and Node.js. And Andrew will be our super speaker for today. Hey, we have first comment. Yay.
Hey, that's perfect.
Yeah, just to remind, and Andrei, you can unmute yourself, by the way. You are our guest
Maybe.
expert, I think 2 or 3 sessions ago on our live code session, and explained us a little bit details of Nest.js, helped with that. So we're looking forward to today's session as well. Yeah, and today is a 31st technology meetup, if I'm correct.
So it's like if we've been doing it every day, then it's going to be a month, right?
Yeah, long path. Hi guys. So yeah, as Andrew mentioned, we're gonna talk about Kubernetes, but Kubernetes will be the last part. Initially, we'll talk about Nest and development in general. My name is Andrew. I'm not a frequent guest here, so I will introduce myself. I have 14 years of experience in web development. I worked as front-end developer, backend developer, actually team lead, DevOps, CTO. So it's a long path, and I really like JavaScript. It's like my second native language, which I know much, but English, I guess. And yeah, today we gonna develop together. I think we can start sharing my screen and just start because it's gonna be long.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you see EDA?
Yes, we do.
Okay. But let's go first to slides. I have slides, 3 slides. Yes, it won't be long. I just want to mention a couple of moments which we'll focus today, and it's like special moments because today we more will talk about concepts and not details, because our task it's quite complex. We'll do full stack development and then deploy it, so we are limited in time. So we'll not have time to dig into some particular, let's say, files, and so we'll not discuss every line of code. And also we'll focus on tools, because I'm gonna do all the work in JetBrains PHP store, and just show tools which I use every day. PHP Storm I use for a long time, from beginning of my career. So I hope that it will be useful for somebody as well. So, and our agenda. So first we just getting familiar with the task. So what we need to do, then we develop backend part, content part, and finally deploy it. So let's just start looking what we gonna do. Just a moment. Okay, we have a service which already deploy it. It has it's like a chart tag. You can have a list of employees. You can set areas for these employees, and then you can estimate these employees. But it's not important for us. Important for us is that in this service, I want to have top users, and I want to have a list of users here which I can edit. So that's it. Quite simple task, but we'll do it. Go. Okay. Andrew, if you have any questions, do not hesitate just to ask right in time. Okay.
Yes, actually, if you can just mention what do you use as a front end here?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. But the task itself is clear. We want to have a list of users editable, right?
For me, yeah. Maybe also
Okay,
some
right.
rights.
But in this session, I'm just going to talk to you.
Okay, speak to me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just look at the project itself. So what we'll use. So in this project, it is Postgres as a database. We use Nest.js. It's Node.js framework for backend part, and we use Ant design on the front-end part. And I'm gonna tell about it a bit more a bit later. First, let's take a look at the file structure in our project. So this project is it's called Equalize, and it's monorepo. It means that we have several services in one Git repository, and we store them in packages folder. And you see that we have 3 services here. Admin, it's like our front end part, what we see here in browser. API is API, and Nginx is Nginx. Okay, and first thing which I want to talk to you about is when you work on monorepo, you usually have a lot of files, and it's quite simple to get it messy quite fast because there are a lot of directories, and I use a feature in PHP Storm called scopes. So when you work on front end, for example, you just pick front here, and you see only files related to front end. It's quite useful. If I'm working on API, I just choose back here. But you can adjust it as you want. So, for example, if you have a lot of services here, and you're working on some particular feature which requires part of backend, front end, and some other services, you can configure scope here, and it really helps you to keep focus. I mean, okay, but let's continue. First, let's take a look at our database structure, because we need a list of users. First, we need to store them somehow. And first, we need to run our database. And I will run it from Docker compose file. So I have database specified here. And again, I can just click play button here and see my Docker container working here in the services panel of PHP Storm. It's another useful tool because you can see logs right in IDE. It's useful. Okay, we see that the database is connected. Let's explore it a little bit. So I'm open another tab with this database, and here I have a list of tables. And of course, I'm not prepared, and I already have users here. Just a moment. I'll fix it.
I have a quick question to you,
Mm-hmm.
if you're
Yeah.
available for that now.
Yeah.
I've seen you are using packages folder to combine all the different things in one monorepo, like API, admin, and Nginx. And my question is, do you use some tools like Yarn workspaces, Lerna, or TurboRepo, or something like that to manage it easier?
No, on this stage, no, because everything it's like fresh, new project, which is quite simple, and I don't need any advanced stuff here. So I just have two services. They're almost completely independent. They do not share dependencies. So no, for now, no.
Okay.
Okay. So here's our database. We see that there are some tables, and every table is just related to the tab here. So you see we have areas here, employees here, employees here. So it's database structure is not large yet. So we need the new table here, users. And in order to do it, we'll use awesome TypeORM feature called synchronization mode. So yeah, on the backend level, we use TypeORM. And let's start with generating this entity, TypeORM entity. Actually, then we need a new module on Node.js. We can generate it, and I'm gonna use it to not write necessary code. And it's just so you see that in Node.js we have modules, and every module is just responsible for a particular feature of the project. We're gonna develop users, so I just type nest g resource users. I use resource because it will generate for us also a controller service and entity as well. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna work on REST API, and yeah, let's just generate CRUD endpoints. Okay, have users module. We'll clean it up because we want to focus on writing tests. Also it will take a long time, longer. Okay, we have our entity, user entity. But it's just simple class. Let's make it TypeORM entity. I will open the example. Well, just to copy paste. Okay, to create TypeORM entity, we just need to use decorator entity, and just name our table users, and I will add a couple of fields like ID, string, name, string. Yeah. We'll have a name and email for users table. And I think it will be enough for this example. And probably created it and updated it. Okay, we created our entity, and now just try to use the TypeORM sync mode. First of all, there is the ORM config, and TypeORM uses it. And you see that here we have synchronize. And if you just set true to this synchronize, then TypeORM take all the entities and create it in database. But I have synchronize false because I don't want it to happen automatically. And especially I don't want it on production. But instead of this, I have programmatic usage of this. Just a moment. There I have it. Module. service. Yeah, here we go. So this line, I just do synchronization programmatically, then I run seeds. So for now, seeds I will explain in a couple of moments. For now, I will just run it. And again, I will run it directly from packages.on. We have play button here. It's another useful tool because if some shit happens, then you will see stack trace here, and in this stack trace you can click on the link and it will show you a particular line of the code. It's save you a lot of time. Okay, I run seeders. Let's take a look at our database structure. Okay, we have table users here. Awesome, and it has our columns. That's cool, but it seems empty. Let's fill it. And to fill it, you need to write seeder. And there is no standard way to write seeders. You can implement it as you want, actually. And I will just explain how I did it in my application, and probably it will inspire you to do the same, because it's quite useful, I think. So in Nest.js, you have like entry points files, like main TS, it just run your application. And code looks like this. We actually include app module, which is responsible for our application to work. And I created another entry point on the same level and called TS. And it is the same, but it includes seed module. And then it runs seed service. And that's all. It's not start listening on some port, but it just run fully Nest application. And it means that we can use all the features which we use in our main application, but inside seeders. And I will show you how it looks like. So here we have a seed module, and we have a seed service, which do all the job for us. And it actually combines all the seed services and run it in a particular order. So we're gonna write user seed to fill data for our users table. I will just copy some of existing, so which is simplest, I guess. Rows. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll create user seeder. Okay, let's focus on it. Actually, replace role user. Just drop unnecessary stuff. Okay, almost there. What do we have here? We inject a repository for user entity, which we just created, and we inject config dependencies. And here we name this. And insert. Take this one. So I need to prepare data of users. And in users, we have a name and we have email. User. Name and email. I'm using Pager library to generate random data. username and internet email. Okay, and I need to insert it in the users repository. Okay, everything is fine, but yeah, we need. I just store in config. I store number of users which I need to generate, and it's seed config. Yeah. So let's say we want to generate 50 users. Just check pagination. Andrew, how are you? Everything's okay?
A few things.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to hear somebody because it happens sometimes that you're talking for half an hour and then you realize that nobody's hearing you.
No, we hear definitely. I understand this concern, of course. I had two small questions. You started with a synchronize option for the database config, and you mentioned that it will create these tables. For updating the tables, is it a problem, or it will also check if the configuration is the same and do the migration, or how that works?
Oh, no. Look, you can use this feature only in development mode because it will recreate your database completely. But TypeORM also provides a useful feature for generating migrations. And that's a separate topic. We'll not touch it here. But how it works, it just compare your entity structure and your database structure, and it generates diff. And then this migration you can run on production.
Right.
But synchronize will kill all the data every time. Be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's clear. Then another one was, maybe it's also not related to today's session directly. It was about a DDD in general. So we have you did this with a nest create or something like that with a command to create a new resource, right? It was a nest create new something like that. I was wondering what options do you have there? Like, will the whole structure for entities and repositories, or it's you can configure basically what you want from that?
Oh yeah, it's quite general tool. So if, come on, if just type nest, it will show you list what you can generate. You can generate application or just class, and you see that there are a lot of options here. And sometimes you need just module class or guard. But now I needed a resource, and I used this one resource, and it's generating new CRUD resource just because of task we use. So it's quite useful, but I think that copy and paste working well as well here, because it's just modulus and you replace everything.
That's technique.
With module.
Yeah.
That's technique always work. So during this talk, I just edit. I'm editing the seed module. I just added user entity and user seeder, and what else I need? Seed service.
Maybe I missed part when you were explaining the seed services. Is that some common terminology, or it's just some actor inside our application? It's some business logic.
It's common terminology when you work with usual ORMs. It provides you way how you fill your database. So you have migrations and seeders, and some of these tools, they provide ready to go solution for it, and someday you need to make it your own, because usually you don't want to work with a production database or empty database. You need some data, and they need to generate it somehow, and the seeders is a solution to do it.
Okay, cool. Thanks for explaining that. Maybe I missed it last time. I'm sorry. The last one from my side for now. I see on line 42 Bluebird. Is that the same Bluebird I know already like 10 years?
Bluebird, yes,
Basically, my question is
library
promises
promises.
implementation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Is it still used heavily? I missed the part. I thought when we switched to ECMAScript 5, ECMAScript 6, we forgot about Bluebird. No.
Oh no, actually, it's still quite popular, and the answer is it has sugar, you know. So of course, everybody there you can use promises like native promises. You use native promises, but Bluebird it has some nasty methods like each or map, and standard implementation doesn't provide them, and it's just to make you code a little bit
Yeah, structured in a way
readable,
that
more
you
readable.
used to get it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is our seat, and it just. Oh, yeah. 1 moment. Okay, let's just keep it. Let's just run our seeder because everything should be done already for it. Again, I'm opening this panel and just clicking play. And let's see what's happened. And we see that we run user seeder, which we just described together. And let's check the data. Yahoo! We have a list of users. I think it's nice. It's random, and we can work with it. Okay, we have everything in the database what we need. So now we need the REST API for it. And previously, we already generated this users resource. And what we have here, so we have controller. Of course, we have module as a top entity. We have controller, and it's responsible to handle our HTTP calls. And we have service, and then in service, we'll have business logic. And I'm not gonna implement it because I'm using a library which implemented for me. So I'm just removing this. In a moment, I will show you. This, then this. This. Okay. Okay, we're gonna use Nest.js CRUD plugin for Nest. It's quite cool plugin because it will generate automatically all the endpoints to perform CRUD operations. Like if we have our users table, then it will give us following endpoints like get users, get particular user, create user, and so on. It also will care about pagination, filtering, and all this stuff. That's what you can just pass as get parameters. For example, then you get list of users. You can specify sort, offset. So everything what you need to implement paginated list and editing them. So let's just use it. And it's quite simple. So user service, I will open skill service just as an example for myself. So what's the difference here? It extends TypeORM CRUD service. Let's do this thing. And we'll use user or user entity. So we don't need skill. Okay, and then important part is that in constructor, we need to use dependency injection and inject our repo to work this user entity. Okay, great. I think that that's enough for service. Now let's modify controller. Okay, in controller, we need to make a bit more changes. You see, this decorator CRUD, it's provided by this plugin. So here we specify that we work with user entity. Params, it's get params. It's like points. So this ID param will have, and we need to describe it. And it will be stored in view of UUID. Actually, if you use numbers as primary case, you don't need to specify it. I need to redefine it because I'm using UUID as primary keys. And also, I will specify this parameter, always paginate. It will format responses in a particular way to use pagination. We'll see it soon. Okay, we have a controller. Now we need to check if everything is required in skills module. Let's leave it here and open users module. So we specify that we use this controller and service, and also we need to include TypeORM module because we're gonna work with database in this module. And again, I need to specify that I use user entity. Actually, I think that this is it. Let's just start, try to run it and see if it works. Again, I open package.json and I run start there. Okay, there is no TypeScript. Oh, yeah. Here we have it here, and let's see if we expose the. No, I don't see users endpoint here. Oh, it's because we have a main module, our application module, and if we want to add some functionality, we need to add this functionality here. So I add users module here. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, yeah, great. We have our endpoints exposed here. And now I will show another feature of PHP Storm. It's a built-in REST client. Usually I use Postman, but this one is useful as well, especially if you need to check simple thing. I just created a file with the HTTP extension, and now I can write get HTTP. I have application on 3333 port, and I want to get list of users. Let's try it. Woohoo! Here is the response. And you see that we just get our users, which we had in database, and we spent only 30 minutes. Great. And this is always paginate. What it does, you see that it has data field, and we also have total page count. And if we don't have this always paginate, it will be just a flat array of users. But in our task, it's useful to have it wrapped into this data structure. Okay, it's our get. We also have post and patch methods to update and create users, and also delete, of course. So actually, the backend part is finished at this moment, and I will continue this frontend part. Let me just quickly check that I just talk about what I wanted.
CRUD model you used?
Sorry?
I have a question about this CRUD extension you just showed us. It's quite useful, I think, but the question is how hard to extend something. Like how hard to write your own endpoint with your own query.
Yeah, and I think that in this library, this moment done really well, because first of all, you can override all the methods, and there is documentation how you do it, and you also can add new methods, like let's just add test method here, and you just use usual nest built-in nest instruction like get test and push something, and let's just return one there. And you have get test here. So I just save. I'm not sure it will work right now, but let's just test it. Okay, and yeah, we have this one here. So it's really quite extensible feature, because you just add the new endpoints below, and it works.
Maybe addition to Andrew's question, like imagine I want to have for pagination requests also have some header that shows the approximate limit, like how many pages we have in total. Would it be possible to do with this plugin?
Oh, total information, it will return your out of the box. So you see that it has data, it is total, and current page and page count.
Okay.
And I will show you this request then when we develop a front-end part. So we will see it, these params, how it works. Okay. Any other questions about the backend part? Or we start with front-end?
A small one. This CRUD extension, is that part of official Nest.js support? Is that from the box?
Interesting question. Nest G6.
Alex, you just going over my questions.
Yeah, I'm reading your shared screen from my side.
Actually, I don't have answers for it, so probably someone needs to investigate.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I also wondering, is there something like this for gRPC? Would be nice actually to use it in my particular projects.
I don't know, but I found this repository from official documentation of Nest.js. So
okay,
it was just mentioned, like you probably want to use it. And I looked at it and oh yeah, definitely I want to use it.
So the recipe is the same. Just read the documentation first, right?
Yeah. As usual, Andrew, I always talk to you, but you know that I can read it for you sometime.
Maybe podcast
Okay.
way.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to front-end part. And before we start, I will just show you a couple of the libraries which I use here. And the first one is Undesign. It's a great one because you know that Chinese is quite popular language, and here you have great possibility to learn it because of authors. But it's cool that they translated a lot already. Several years ago, it was not so English. But now it's a very useful library of React components. And if you develop something which is similar to admin panel, it's I would recommend to use this library because it's very well documented. It has a lot of components and they are very customizable and quite stable and very good described. And in this project, I'm using not only InDesign, but I'm using InDesign Pro. It's like extension for InDesign, but first of all, it's not documented so well as InDesign, and still has a lot of Chinese parts, and that's why sometimes I just looking at the code to know how it really works. But I will show you why I'm actually using it. If we click preview, that's actually InDesign, but it's connected to the server. It has all the methods to fetch data and to manipulate it, and it provides components for it. So we have these amazing dashboards. We have built-in works with forms, which could submit data. It has table components that you can search, doing bulk editing, and everything you want, actually. So there is a lot of code which already written, and if you spend some time and understand how it works, then you have this power absolutely free, and it's cool. But InDesign, it's like simple to start using. InDesign Pro, you will spend several days to understand how it works under the hood, and after that, you will be able to use it. So it's entrance plank is quite high. Okay, let's see how we use it in code. Close backend, switch to Frontend. Okay, what we have here? Pages, and first let's start with adding a new page. To add a new page, we need to configure routing. Copy paste. Let's have the users tab, and it will be users path. We don't want to hide it in the menu. Oh, Andrew, I have a task for you. You'll help me. Just in a moment, I will give it to you. Be ready. Okay, I created a road, and I will create a page. Users index 6, and the page is a simple React functional component. I will copy paste. Let's start this. It's our command. Okay, that's all what I done for creating a page. It's just a functional component which has page container and hi. And we need to run, actually. Again, I'm opening packages on and just pressing play button.
Why it's called roles? Don't we do
Purple.
users?
No, here is users. Roles, yeah. It's the place that I copied content from. You know, copy paste. Oh no! Something failed to compile roles. What the fuck? Of course, model not found. It can't resolve page and user. Why? Oh, because it's users. Okay, great. We have it trying. Okay, 404. It's a well-known success. And we just got a new page here, users, and it tells us hi. Andrew, here is a task for you. We need icon here. You see, without icon, it's ugly. Yeah, you need to pick an icon until the end of this session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall it be emoji or something?
Compatible icon. I give you a hint. Just try to undesign icons.
Okay.
Okay. But we continue this time. We need table here. Remember our task. Let's just drop hi and add table. And this table will work with our user entity. And here I just using hack will import this user entity directly from my TypeORM entity. Import entity. You shouldn't do it. Actually, you need to move it to common types, but it's just simple. Okay, what else I need for table? First of all, let's take a look at the table, what it is. So table is actually wrap on the pro table component, and the pro table component is what I talk to you. It's this component. It's table which can use which can work with the server side. And here you just specify a number of options, like if it can be opened on full screen and so on. So most of my tables, they work the same way. So I wrap them into the table component, which just has default settings for this pro table. Okay, pro table. And, just doing some things for TypeScript. Now I will not use columns. Yeah, and I need the service. What is service? Service, it's another wrapper which I wrote, and it's just entity which can communicate with the server, and it has methods like get all, get, create, update, delete. So it's just my custom stuff to actually work with the server. And under the hood, you just send requests in this way. Like you send request, it's post, and you just send some data. And we need to create service for users. Users service. Yes. And here I'm gonna use type templates, and I will just write service, press tab, and generate some code. Okay, cool. Service I'm gonna import from my service, and user will not be able to import. So, okay, command sort. Sort. Just setting for other project. Default sort. Default sort same. Bait path API users is correct. And what else we need in service? Okay, we have name field. And searchable columns. Searchable columns is name. Okay, we have a service. Imports. Almost there. And table. What? User server type name is not the same word type title. Oh, because here I need the user. No, okay. TypeScript says that it should work already. Let's check. Users. Okay, great. And that's all what we needed to create table. The only problem with this table is that it doesn't have columns. So final thing which we need to do is just to add columns. And it will be pro columns. Pro columns is another component from Undesign Pro, which you usually want to use this table. Columns. Yes, that's fine. And here we need just title. It will be we have name, and the interesting property here is data index. So you remember that we receive an array of users, and we need to for every column we need to fetch data somehow. And here we specify how we did, and we just need the property called name to be displayed. And another is email. And data index mail. Okay, and that's it. Okay, cool. Here we go. And you see that we already have a table with users and this working pagination, and we actually can even search them. Let's see what's happening in our network panel when I'm doing it. So first of all, when we load the page, we just use our get all. So we just used get API users, and this pro table, it sets proper params like page and limit, and our API just know how to work with these params using CRUD.js plugin, which we had added on Nest. Okay, it looks like working, but let's just make it editable. Sorry?
Quick question. I maybe missed the moment when you attached this front end to real API endpoint. Can you just quickly show it where it is?
Because there is no this moment. You just write code, so TypeScript is stop complaining, and everything starts working. Render.
How? I don't believe in magic.
Okay, see, we have this table component, and we passed user service into this component. And before it, we created user service, which looks like this. And here you see I specified base path. It's actually where we should take data from. And this service, it provides us some methods like get all, get list, and our table. You see, there is a very important property here is request. And this request, it just invoke get all of past service. So pro table, then it's rendering, it invoke this method to fetch all the data. And we pass proper service, which knows where to take this data from. And that's it.
Okay, cool.
Sounds easy. Yeah. Like this. So we have a table, and let's just make it editable. To make it editable, I will just use a feature from Ant Design. It's I won't explain it, sorry, but it's just another column action which do all the magic and use the same service. So we see that where we have edit button here, we can click it, we can edit, we can save, and oops, let's just we haven't specified order, I guess. Rebecca, well, I will search it for it. Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca is here and it's updated. Great, and we also can create something new. Somewhere. Oh, that's here. Cool. So our task is complete. It was the front-end part. Andrew, there is icon.
Yeah, it's called smile outlined.
Smile outlined. It's great. Let's just edit. I can. Smile.
Yeah.
Smile. Smile.
Yeah.
Smile. Andrew, looks like your icon broke my application.
Yay.
Oh, God.
Don't you have to install dependencies like when you edit menus?
Yeah, like npm install smile icon.
Yeah, at Node.js at Ant Pro smile outlined indeed.
Okay, looks like something wrong with build. Yeah, we see. Oh, it recognized that it will use new icon, so it needs just
to install another 100 megabytes of Node.
I hope that it optimize imports. Okay, looks like it's finished. Come on, I just want a new icon. Oh, done. Satisfying. Great. Then any questions about front-end part before we go to deploying part? Okay, there's
No.
no question. It's because you're not front-end developers, I guess. Okay, deploy. We need to deploy it. And actually, I prepared some schema, not this one, in Figma, just to describe how we're gonna do it. So what we have currently, we have a local machine, and we have code, and this code could be run on our local machine. It works. Just have seen it, but we also have a server, and we want to run server code there. And 16 years ago, I just have done like this. You know, you just put code on the server, and it's run it on the server, and it's start working. But after that, DevOps guys appear, and they said, if we do like this, nobody will pay us money. So we need something more complex. And that's why they put a bit more servers and technologies. So currently we can just, actually we can, but nobody do it because, you know, DevOps need to take their money. So what we do in modern world, how we deal with the code when we need to run it on the server. So we still have our local machine, and we have code, and then we have another computer called the CI, and the main goal of this computer is take code and wrap it into I'm just talking about one of approach. They use Docker images and Kubernetes to manage them. So we wrap this code into another Docker image, And it's actually another meshing. It's operation system and your code. And great about this that after that you can take this Docker image and run on any machine. So we have CI, which put code inside Docker image. Then we have another computer, Docker registry, and it actually contains these Docker images. So CI, after it builds this Docker image, it put it inside Docker registry. And you see that you can have a lot of different images for different services in different versions. They just start in registry. And on real server, we usually have some software which pull these images on this server and run them. And then these images is run, they called containers. So we run a container, and we can run a lot of containers, actually, and a lot of applications. And usually you have some software which do it for you. And in our example, we'll use Kubernetes. It will pull images and it will run it, and it will run it. So we'll have API part, and we'll have front-end part. It will be Docker containers, and Kubernetes will run it inside the entity called pod. So they will easily communicate to each other. Wow, what is it? Great. Okay, this schema I will use while explaining all the technologies which we'll talk now. So first of all, say what we will use it. I am storing my application on GitHub. Nikolai's. Okay, GitHub. And GitHub has a built-in CI called Github Actions. Quite useful, but there are a lot of different because CIs will just use GitHub Actions here. In order to make it working for you, you need to you need to have a GitHub folder, and you just have instruction for this CI. And as I said, we'll not go deep into details. We just have an overview of technologies here. So this example, it's actually copy pasted from standard GitHub instructions about how you build Docker image on GitHub Actions. And it just check out your code. It makes Docker builds, and then it pushes your Docker image to GitHub registry. Because this is about this part. So we wrap code into the Docker image. So if we have this file, we specify there when this code should run, and I specify that on every push of text, git text started from V, I need to start a new build. And how do I create a new build? I just go to release tab and create a new version. Let's call it V1 for all from master. And just publish release. GitHub release automatically create new tag, and it triggers GitHub Actions. And we see that it just starts building for us something. So here we built actually two repos together from two services from our packages folder. It's admin, it's our front end, and it's API. Then it's finished. It published it on GitHub registry. So and you will be able to see it here in packages. Let's go to Nikolai's API. And you see that here are images. So now we're talking about this Docker registry. There we can see all our images. And the final step, when it's done, we need to move these images to our server. And here we will use Kubernetes. Okay, I will try to explain it simple. So first, to use Kubernetes, we need this server. And in this example, I will use DigitalOcean as provider. But there are a lot of complaints about DigitalOcean as a Kubernetes provider from DevOps guys. Andrew can confirm it's at some point it's not useful. But the way, am I still live? Somebody say something?
Yeah, you are live for sure.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Actually, regarding
Okay.
DigitalOcean, just a quick question, which is not about topic. Is it kind of free if you're doing something small like this session, or anyways you have to pay?
DigitalOcean, no, it's not free for now, but it costs about $10 for small cluster, and you can try everything you want. So I just created a new cluster. You can do it from UI. It's simple. Create cluster. You choose what size of nodes you want, and it will show you price. You see it's $10 per month. And you'll just see overview, and here you will have instruction how you help with it, how you connect to this cluster. And if you just do instruction from here, you will be able to connect to this cluster from EDE. And it will give you overview of what actually happens. And if you go to services, first of all, you need to install plugin for Kubernetes. So you just go to plugins and you search Kubernetes plugin, which is already installed for me. And after that, you can connect to Kubernetes cluster and explore it right here. So all the Kubernetes entities, like pods, the deployments, everything will be here. You also will be able to switch between namespaces and all this stuff. And you, of course, can manage several clusters here. So it's quite useful. And so you just create cluster on DigitalOcean, and of course you need to read documentation about Kubernetes. And I actually did it just 3 weeks ago, and I spent 3 days reading documentation. And after that, I spent about a day to roll everything out with Kubernetes. So it's not too long. Documentation is written is quite cool, and you result is such a number of YAML files which just describe how your application works. And I will take
a few questions. Can I stop you for a moment? Yeah. So this CI YAML file that you showed previously, was it generated from somehow? Because I thought maybe I missed it. You were saying something like you get magically these Docker images from GitHub Actions when you trigger a new release. But this one, have you created that yourself, or Node.js CLI helped with it, or maybe Ant Pro on the front-end part as well?
So first of all, this CI file is just doing a Docker build, and it's standard. If you just write GitHub Actions Docker build, then you will get this. I hope that it maybe not. Maybe you need to Google a bit more, but it's just copy pasted, and there is very little modifications in it. But about Docker build, yes, so for Frontend, I have a Docker file. It's undesigned, then you build it. It just generates static files which can be served by Nginx, and it's useful. It's just HTML and JS. So yeah, you can wrap it inside the Nginx, and it will start serving this HTML. So it's simple. And a Nest as well. Here I just use standard Docker file for Node applications, or almost standard. So you can just write something like Node index.js instead of this, and it will be like just install and build, and that's it. And
if I'm not mistaken, this image is generated for you from Nest.js, right? And probably for Ante as well.
Not sure. So probably they have. It's very popular technologies. So that's you can find this instruction probably even in general documentation. I don't know. I do not remember that I took this Docker files. Just because I have a lot of Docker files which I can just copy.
I can imagine.
Probably.
So another one, last one, this Kubernetes small configuration cluster files that you showed previously. They were generated as well for you, or you had to create them somehow?
I had to create them. So first I went and found how to create Postgres in Kubernetes, and I found a solution called kubegres, and they have documentation about how you do it. So I started from database, then I run database, then I learned how to run application. So what you need, what YAML you need to write to run application, and after that you need the ingress for serving it outside, like Nginx part, and yeah. So I think that it actually deserves like separate call to explain all this stuff. So we definitely didn't have time for it, but right now. And we probably could do it in the future, but let's just when I started to talk to developers how I do everything this Kubernetes, they started to tell me about how you generate these YAML files and a lot of advanced stuff. And actually, it was quite hard to me to understand what's going on. And my recipe for everybody who wants to start working this topic, it's just try to use pure Kubernetes without Helm charts and everything, because because whole topic is too complex to understand it from the scratch. You need to do step by step, and if you just learn Kubernetes and you know how to connect to your cluster, and you can write these YAML files, then you have this magic button. You just press it, and it will deploy everything from your YAML files directly to your Kubernetes cluster, and you will explore all the changes right here. And it's very useful. Then you have some UI, and then you see that you do some actions, and then you can explore what changed. And here, for example, for every container, I can see logs right here, and what's going on production, and also I could connect to database from here. If I just use forward ports feature, I specify port on my local machine. I specify forward in the cluster. I click forward, and after that, I can connect to database directly from here. This is production, and I can explore. It's the same way what I do in local development, and it's quite useful.
Quick question. Have you done anything about configuration of access to Docker registry? Because I've seen you probably used a private Docker registry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so in GitHub CI, you need to use step like login to registry.
Yeah, I mean on the Kubernetes part to be able to pull these images out.
Yeah, on the Kubernetes part, I have this file, but I will not show it. It contains registry creds.
Okay.
Sorry, it's real application, and yeah, so it's just a config map, and you use it in I guess this here. One moment. Yeah, I specify image here, and I specify yeah, image pool secrets. Regret, and they are defined in this registry regrets file, and it's just start working.
Okay.
Kubernetes is amazing. You just write YAML files and things start happening. I'm amazed. Okay, so that's actually what I wanted to talk about today. Probably there are some questions. I think that our goal is complete.
Yeah, I think you had an amazing session. Just showed everything from the the beginning of your task, like how to start development and then how to build this and how to connect the front end and then finally how to deploy it and where to deploy it. I'm really amazed that we could fit this in 1 hour 20 minutes, but yeah.
But you did
Basically,
it.
but basically, if you decide to speak a bit more on every particular point of this session, it will be more efficient because on design, I think one of the parts which quite briefly showed today.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, so the goal was to just show the full process. So now, of course, if there is an interest, I'm ready to talk more detailed in separate session about any piece of this process. But I just noted that then I learned some technology. It helped me a lot. Then I understand the full picture of what I will need to do. And then work as a front-end developer and want to become full-stack developer, for example. It's nice then somebody just show all the pieces which you will need to learn, because it will take a lot of time, but it's just overview. And if you learn these technologies which were just mentioned here, then you will be able to produce this full-stack job.
Yeah, I've seen it. It happened very fast, so I'm wondering how much time this project took you to write all this code. I mean, if you exclude
Right.
all this reading of documentation, which you just, one-time job, but then just writing all the code, how long it will be to start your startup?
Start this time. But a lot of time is really I spent to preparation for useful development. I mean, I spent probably a couple of weeks to configure everything. But after that, such simple tasks, I spent almost no time. So if I need new entity and I want it to be editable, so now I had to talk to you. But if I had not, I would spend about 14 minutes to write this code. And then I focus on things which are custom. And they spend most time of them. So my
Yeah,
receipt
that's
is to prepare tools for useful and fast implementation of simple things and focus on what's really important. And so on this, I'm working about 2 months, 3 days a week.
nice.
I see the fire in Andrew's eyes. He's thinking of how to spin up the startup as a service thingy. So you said 40 minutes. It's so simple.
I have fire all my life in my eyes. Yeah. Andrew forgot to mention that a part of these two months of development and a few weeks of preparations, he also spent 16 years of development. So that's why it's so
But
fast now.
that's what you're gonna wrap up in the as a service part.
Yeah.
of the service.
Okay.
Awesome. But yeah, I really liked it. I honestly, I'm not a front-end, not a backend developer, so I'm a data scientist. So the first two parts were a bit foreign for me, but the third one about deploying stuff, I really liked it. So your visualization of how it was and how it is now, like it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's of course, it's just the first step when I just need this just to work. But if I need to have more developers on this project, then it will become more advanced, and I will call Andrew and say that I have some money for DevOps, professional DevOps, to make it really complex, and he will become and say that, yeah.
I'm still wondering about this project. I mean, it really reminds me how Symfony was structured in PHP.
Mm-hmm.
Because all part about Nest, I mean, everything around all these magical annotations, which do everything for you, and then you just, spend minutes to code, but then the hard part come when you need to extend something really custom, and that takes you a lot of time to explore this framework and how you can actually break it to make it work as you want.
Yeah. But it requires some time of reading documentation, and then you understand it, and then it start helping you.
Okay, we're receiving a lot of positive comments saying, yeah, thank you, Andrew, and so on. Thank you for such a great session today.
Okay, probably some question. Why Andrew is trying to speak this Russian accent? Думаю, потому что русский мой основной язык. I hope it was an answer. Okay, then I think that's it, and we just wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks a lot once again. Awesome session. So
yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. See
Bye,
you
have a nice
on the
Sunday.
next. Yeah. See ya. Bye bye.
See you soon. Bye.